personally, I think leadership has different contexts to it. So in my situation, when I first started in the workforce, I joined the military, I was in the Navy. So leadership in that context was quite structured and quite hierarchical, as it should have been. I mean, in a military situation, you very clearly knew who were the leaders and at what level of leadership they were at by looking at the pips on their shoulders. I think if we're talking the context specifically for women, my view has been our own perceptions are often our biggest barrier. And a lot of that also can be traditional values. I mean, I come from I've been very fortunate, I've got a very strong family background, but there are some very strong opinions in that background, and particularly from sort of the second generation woman. And yeah, historically, they haven't seen their role as perhaps having a professional career. I learnt, once again, it's around those sort of traditional barriers that we create ourselves. I learnt to actually look up and think bigger than what was necessarily within my immediate sight. And I was never really narrowly focused, but I perhaps wasn't realizing that you can add value in that wider picture. So it was about actually having a voice within acceptable parameters. So when somebody sent something and said, look, this is open for general comment, I now comment and consider, whereas before perhaps it's not something I would have done. It's about realizing the value of collaboration and other people's views. So one of the huge benefits for me, and I feel for the New Zealand university sector with women in leadership, is that it created collaborations that cross-pollinated across the different universities. You know, I've got some fabulous colleagues on other universities who have very similar challenges, or particularly around the delivery of absolutely leading-edge, effective student life services. So I can pick up the phone to a colleague at Victoria or Canterbury or Lincoln, in fact any of them, and often we can have some really fabulous discussions that grows the knowledge and the ability for the entire university sector. So that's huge value added. Those collaborations and those relationships, in my view, are huge. And women in leadership effectively creates an environment where they will grow in a very positive way.